Welcome to today's video. Today's video we're going to be diving in about what Tesla are doing different to try and make up that lost revenue for the cars being more reliable. As most of us know, electric cars have a lot less moving parts and therefore they're less likely to go wrong. So manufacturers are coming up with new inventive ways to plug this gap on where they're losing money. And I think Tesla have come up with the most ingenious way, and that's what we'll be going into today's video. If you're not already a subscriber, by the way, go and click subscribe down below, click that notification bell, and if you can share my videos with a family and friend member and try and increase the amount of uptake that these videos get. Also, if you fancy and you've got a little bit of extra money and you can support me on Patreon, check out Patreon. If you don't believe in Patreon, I do have an Amazon wishlist with equipment that I need for the channel to help make better videos, better production value for you guys. Now, all manufacturers at the moment are trying to come up with new ingenious ways to try and plug the gap of money that they're losing by not repairing cars for faults that go wrong on electric cars. I mean, it's no surprise that they are more reliable being an EV because there is a lot less moving parts to go wrong. Because of this, there is also less money in servicing because there's no oil changes, there's less bits to change, there's a lot less to go wrong. So a couple of ways manufacturers can do to plug this massive financial gap and obviously the chance of losing money. One, they can make newer models quicker, which creates more hype, which means people want to change into a newer model more, which will plug the gap. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is charging more for accessories and spares. That's what Nissan do and other manufacturers. If you ever break a wing mirror or glass on a car and go and get a price for a genuine mirror or glass, you will be astounded by the price that parts cost. On any car at the moment, prices are absolutely extortionate for extras on bits that they know you're going to break, like mirrors and glass, because they know they can sell at you. So that's one way they plug the gap. And then there's also overrated service costs for doing nothing, and all manufacturers are guilty of that, including Tesla. They charge ridiculous amounts for basically not really doing anything on a service apart from switching the tyres around front and back and changing a couple of cabin filters. Renault do exactly the same. They basically just do an MOT test but charge you 70 quid, and if you're also having an MOT they'll also charge you £55 for an MOT, and they're not really doing anything. Again, they are not really true costs of what an EV should have. The cost should be absolutely minimal. If anything, they should just be a very plain safety check at a very low cost. A minimal cost of at least, I'd say, £55. What an MOT cost is completely reasonable for what should be charged for an EV, but some of the costs that you see coming out are way more than that. Now, when you go and buy a new car, you have the options of speccing it with extras. So before the car is even put on the production line, you spec the car with what colour you want, what interior options you want, etc, 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 and then the car goes through its assembly process on a production line and gets made. This is the same for every single car manufacturer, no matter who you go for. You all have to pick what interior you want, what exterior colour you want, and what extras you want on the car, and the car will be built with those extras. Tesla, however, do things a little bit differently. They fit pretty much all the extras on the car, so mainly the only thing you're picking is the colour and interior spec. The actual extras of the car, they're all pre-wired, pre-built into the car, apart from various little bits that aren't, but the majority are all built into the car. So if you buy autopilot, you get the car when it's delivered with autopilot. If you don't buy autopilot, the car is delivered with all the hardware necessarily for autopilot. It's just there. Even if you didn't order it, it's on the car. You've got all the cameras needed, all the sensors for autopilot. It's just pre-done, it's pre-installed. Now this means that each car for Tesla costs more to build. There's still profit in each car, as obviously we found out that even the Model 3 has profit in per car. The main reason they haven't started producing the £35,000 model is to fit all the software and hardware into the car when it's built. There's currently not enough profit in it. There is an amount of profit, but not enough if someone picks a Model 3 up with zero extras and just buys the car. They can't currently make enough profit out of it to make it feasible, which is fair enough. Now, like I said, even if you do not pick any of the options, most of these options, apart from bigger battery sizes and obviously dual motor systems, they're all pre-fitted to Teslas. This is completely different to BMW or Renault or any other manufacturer. Now, someone I know ordered a brand new BMW i3 at the start of December. At the start of January, they decided they wanted to add some extras to that car, which you'd think would be plenty of time to change it, but unfortunately, the order was too far down the production line. It wasn't built yet, but it was too far down BMW's production line to change the order. In other words, the car was about to be made and they've already decided and they've already ordered the parts in, so you couldn't change anything. Now, the difference compared to Tesla is if you told them you wanted to add autopilot, they just do it. The reason why Tesla are going to be, in my mind, they've filled the gap better and they're going to succeed better as a car company is they can make money, not just the first owner who buys a Tesla, not just the second owner, or the third, or the fourth, they can make money out of future Tesla owners very, very easily. And one of those ways that they can make additional money from Tesla owners in the future is if you're the third owner of a Tesla Model X, for example, and you wanted autopilot and it didn't have autopilot, you can ring Tesla and add autopilot for a £6,000 cost. It can just be turned on by an over-the-air update. That is it. Now, Tesla in the past have made cars like the Model X and the Model 3 quicker with an over-the-air update. So again, Tesla could, if they wanted to, that these updates were free in the past, but if they wanted to in the future, they could give you another 10, 20, 30 horsepower with a software treat over the air by charging you a small fee. And Tesla have got this idea perfectly. Fit all the software and hardware you need and then charge extra for it in the future. Now, if you add autopilot as a new order straight off the block, it's a reduced cost. If you add it later on, you pay more for it. So they're making more money for software that was already there and already could have just been turned on. Why don't BMW and the rest of manufacturers copy Tesla's idea of adding the stuff there, but just charging more for it in the future if you want it turned on? They could just basically sell you a car and make money out of you in a couple of years. Now, personally, for me, if I bought a Tesla and it didn't have autopilot, I'd be paying to add that on. And this is where other manufacturers could learn, because just because the first owner doesn't want it doesn't mean the second, third or fourth owner might want it, and they likely would. And Tesla could even entice people, which they have been on the Model 3, by offering a 7-day free trial of autopilot. After 7 free days of using autopilot, someone is more than likely going to go, yeah, I want this, I'm going to pay for it, and they'll buy it. And that is going to be the cornerstone of keeping cars profitable, and it's going to be stuff like this, clever ideas that Tesla have invented to basically keep the market moving and profit coming in. I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. Is that the best way of keeping second-hand car profitable for main dealers and manufacturers, charging these additional things to add things onto your car? Thanks very much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to click subscribe. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. You can support me as little as $1 a month, and check out my other videos. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.